Hello to everyone and welcome one more time to our intensive Spanish lesson class, where my goal and your goal is that you learn Spanish in 100 days. Hola, ¿cómo están? ¿Bien? Pues espero que sí. So, in our last lesson, we was studying the verb, how to conjugate the verb, and that would be all the verbs that ended in AR, ER, and ER. So, when you are using the conjugation, depend how you are going to use which verb, and that will be for all the regular verb. You are going to use some of the conjugation, and we was studying that. If you are not clear with that, how to use and how to conjugate the verb, I would recommend you to go back to our last lesson and practice, because today is going to be very important also to use that. So, and today we are going to use the gerund. So the gerund in English, that would be the ing. So, for example, when you are saying talking, speaking, so all these ing is what we're going to say for the gerund, and that would be a present continuous. So basically, it's an action that you continue doing it. So that would be also very important to use for the future continuous as well. So I'm going to teach you how to use that in Spanish, which is a little bit similar, just with a small difference that is going to have in Spanish, but it's going to be really close to the Spanish as well, to the English, sorry, as well. So let's go to jump on the computer so I will show you how to use the gerund in Spanish. So if you're ready, I'm ready, so let's go to start. So see you there. Nos vemos. Vamos a la computadora. Alright, so forming the gerund in Spanish. So that would be similar when we are going to use the ing in English. So the gerund, basically what described is actions that are in progress. Something similar in English when you are using the verb to be and the ing. So in Spanish, remember that we have, for the verb to be, we have the verb ser and the verb estar. In this case, in Spanish, we are going to use the verb estar in order to forming the gerund. So remember in our last class that we was using the ending for some of the verb, for the regular verb, for the verb ending in AR, ER, and ER. So here we have some example that for the ending of the verb. For example, remember that all the verbs end in AR. So we are going to replace the ending AR with ando. And that is how we are going to form the gerund in Spanish. So here we have an example. Hablar is the verb to talk, and so we are going to eliminate or to remove the AR, and we are going to add ando. So in that case will be hablando. So that means talking. And the same happen if you have another verb. For example, estudiar is ending in AR. So estudiar is the verb to study, and when we remove the AR and we put ando, we are going to say estudiando. And the same happen with trabajar, is another verb to work, so that would be trabajando. And then we have all the verb that is ending in ER and ER. For these two verbs that ended in ER and ER, we are going to use the same gerund in Spanish. So in that case, we are going to remove ER and ER, and we are going to add yendo. So in that case, so if we have vivir, which is to live, we are going, that will become viviendo, because we are going to remove the ER and we are going to add yendo. So in that case will be viviendo. And then we have aprender. So in that case will be aprendiendo. And we have escribir, escribiendo. And that is, and also comer, to eat, that would be comiendo. And that is how you are going to form the ing. So here we have some example as well to explain using the gerund with the verb estar. That again is what I was explaining before, that in English we have the verb to be only, but in Spanish we have ser and estar. In this case, we are going to use only the verb estar. If you are not clear about the verb estar and how to conjugate the verb estar, I would recommend you to go to our class where I was teaching how to conjugate the verb ser and the verb estar, because without this you won't be able to form the entire phrase. So, for example, here we have some sample. Yo estoy hablando. I am talking. Tú estás comiendo. You are eating. Él, ella está viviendo. She is living. So, in that case, so as you can see, yo estoy. So you are conjugating the verb estar for the first person. That would be yo estoy. Tú estás. Él, ella está. Then nosotros estamos. And ellos o ellos están, and then you are going to use the other verb with the gerund at the end. Yo estoy hablando for all the verb ending in ar, hablando, and you are just adding ando, and yendo for the verb ending in er o ir. So nosotros estamos estudiando, ellos o ellas están escribiendo. So this is how we are going to create just the gerund. And here we have another expression. Once that you master the entire phrase, so you can create the entire phrase. For example, ella, she, está, of course, the verb estar conjugated for ella. Cantando is singing. Una canción. Una, remember we was using una where is the indefinite as well and definite article. So, una canción, and canción is a song. So then we have nosotros estamos corriendo en el parque, and ellos están aprendiendo español. They are learning Spanish. So if we take a look as well when to use the gerund in Spanish. So the first part is the gerund is primarily used in two situations. So the first one is to describe something in progress. It's the first things that is the most used in English. This is the same. So we use the present continuous in English. So Spanish is combining with the verb estar to express ongoing action. Estoy hablando, something that keep doing, right? Is something that you keep doing it. Estoy hablando, and you keep speaking, right? And ellos están corriendo is something that is still is happening. Is that they are still doing the same action. Ellos están corriendo, they are running. And the second one would be describe simultaneous action or the way that something is done. So the gerund is can describe or when something happened. So salió corriendo. So that means that that happened at the moment that is running. Viajando aprende mucho. So by traveling, you learn a lot. By traveling, so by doing something. So that is when you are using as well the ing. So this part will be a little bit that will require a little practice and to see if that's working. But the same, it's almost similar like in English that you say by traveling you learn a lot. So by doing something. And then when not to use the gerund. So in Spanish, like in English, I know always there is something that is going to be a little bit different. But in this case, it's going to be when you are using with a noun or adjective like in English. So let me explain that. For example, when you say the speaking is important, the speaking, so the action that is important, that is incorrect. In English, in Spanish, we cannot use that. So we will say hablar is importante. Speaking is important. You cannot use the speaking. It's the action. The speaking is important. You say only hablar is importante. Speaking is important. If you use the verb, you don't use the article, okay, or the adjective. So the same happens when you say la mesa está rompiendo. So that is not something that sounds good. So the table is breaking. That is not good. So that would be for somebody that speak English and they will say la mesa está rompiendo. No, that it doesn't use in Spanish. You will say la mesa se está rompiendo. La mesa está rompiendo. The table is breaking in that case. So The key on this would be that the gerund in Spanish cannot act as a subject or object of a sentence. Instead, an infinitive use in these cases. Like, for example, in English we say eating is fun, so in Spanish will be comer es divertido. So that will be the gerund in Spanish. Leave your comment if you have any question. Remember that I have created this group in Facebook in case that you want to ask some question or you need some help, so we can explain a little bit with more situation. And don't forget to subscribe and to give a like, so that will help other people to found this channel and this project that I'm doing. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you, gracias, muchas gracias a todos. Nos esperamos en otro video. So hope I can see you in another video and keep learning Spanish. Aprender más español. Hasta la vista. Chao.